So just delving into kind of that global system backdrop to give you an idea of kind of how we build our framework and understanding and mental model of the world. So, like I said, we spent a lot of time studying cycles and learning from all the lessons of history. And one recurring theme is human nature does not really change. So history tends to repeat itself, but usually just an outline. So simplistically, things tend to be cyclical. And these natural cycles can and have been studied across various disciplines. And so what we see today is a confluence of many of these cycles all hitting critical points. So from rising geopolitical tensions and a global power struggle. So Peter Zion's The End of the World is Just the Beginning highlighted this several years ago with the thought of moving from a unipolar world to a multipolar world, which we think likely accelerates under Trump, to the demographic cycle, everything from increasing wealth inequality as well as rising populism. Neil Howe laid this out in his book, The Fourth Turning, which was published in 1996. And he just actually published The Fourth Turning is Here last year. And so, again, we're at that kind of inflection point. You have over-leveraged sovereign governments all around the world. Ray Dalio goes deep into this and is navigating big debt crises, as well as challenges to the world order. And so David Murren tends to delve into this in his life cycles of empires. And then you also have Carlota Perez's Technological Revolutions in Financial Capital, which basically lays out technological revolutions throughout history, and we're basically at the precipice of another. So what we do is we use these curated experts in their respective fields to essentially stand on the shoulders of giants. And this allows us to understand the system we're operating in and better focus on our core competency, which is selecting basically stocks within this that should benefit from this changing world order. And so these simple bullets kind of summarize the current global backdrop. And the point of this, as you kind of move, okay, so what does this lead to? So the confluence of all of these things, what we see in history is the confluence of similar backdrops tends to, is essentially the pendulum has swung too far in one direction. And what you tend to see throughout history is a swing back in the other direction. And so what we expect over the coming 40 years is likely a reversal of many of the trends of the past 40 years. So more than likely rising labor and capital costs, energy costs, taxes, populism, conflicts. We're seeing all of this today. And we're essentially moving from this low entropy ordered system into a period of disorder. And so these periods can be particularly jarring, as we've seen in prior fourth turning instances. Some examples of those would be World War II, about 80 years ago, the Civil War, 80 years before that, and the Revolutionary War about 80 years before that. And so our general point here is it's important to study history, and so you have a roadmap and a plan, and you can be proactive rather than reactive.